Peace be with you. Communication is one of the most difficult parts of being a human being. It is very, very difficult to communicate with other humans if you truly sit down and think about communication. When God sent us a message from the Quran, God said it is huda, which in Arabic means guidance, right? So what God tells us is that this world is a minefield, and this is where the dangers lie. And if you just do what I tell you, if you have faith in me and do what I tell you, then you are going to be safe from that destruction. That is what the Quran says. Now, the problem with truly understanding that message, like I said, is the lack of ability to truly understand. It's like trying to explain pain to somebody that's never felt pain. You just can't do it. But once they feel pain, then you don't even have to explain it anymore because they know exactly what it is. And now you guys share the same frame of reference and you can understand each other when you talk, because now you finally understand the magnitude and the condition and all that, right? Just because you experienced it. And for example, when God talks about addiction in the Quran, God tells us in the 5th chapter of the Quran, verses 90 to 92, O you who believe, intoxicants, khamr in Arabic, in gambling and altars set up and dividing by arrows, which is essentially raffling, are filth, devil's work, avoid them that you may be successful. So God tells you, if you want to be successful, you have to avoid this. So, but that's the thing. People understand this, they can conceptualize it, but they can't understand the magnitude of the warning. It's the magnitude of the warning that is difficult to communicate, right? If you are about to drive off of a cliff, I can just stop you and show you, look, this is what you're about to drive off of, and you have a frame of reference to understand. But if you've never been an addict, you don't know how that feels, so the magnitude of the danger does not appear as dangerous to you. But if you look at every addict and you look at the death rates and you look at the social destruction and you look how much people are suffering because they can't quit, it's pretty obvious. So the most difficult part about all of this is communication, and this addiction is just one example. And then God tells us even exactly what the devil is trying to do to us. The shaitan, or the devil, is trying to introduce hatred and animosity among you by means of intoxicants and gambling, and to keep you away from prayer and to cause you to forget about God. Will you not then stop? I mean, that is what the Quran communicates to us in a matter-of-fact way. And all of the other things are communicated in a matter-of-fact way. This is good for you, and you should not disregard this advice. You should have faith in God. That when you say, I believe in God, that means that you should have faith in God and do what God says for your own good. And this example of addiction is just one example. And God finishes talking about addiction by saying, obey God and obey the messenger, but be warned. Be warned. If you turn back, if you disregard this warning, if you don't want to hear the message, if you don't want to follow the advice, then on our messenger was simply to clearly deliver. So you got the message. And if you read the Quran, you will see that on the day of judgment, the devil will say, I had no authority over you. I just called you and you obeyed me. And don't blame me, but blame yourselves. That's it. So when we are talking about communicating and spreading the message of God, I think the problem is lack of frame of reference of all this destruction that God is trying to warn us against. And for some people, they may understand the addiction. For others, they may understand, zina. And others may understand all the things that somebody has suffered something, and they are the only ones that understand the gravity of situation. So if you are a Muslim, you have to have faith that Allah is giving you guidance, huda, to navigate this world without self-destructing, because the only way you are going to find yourself in hell, in Jahannam, is if you self-destruct. And not following what God told you is self-destruction. And if you just look at the Quran with an open mind and clear behaviors, all that God is asking from us is clear morality. That's it. So just don't self-destruct. That is what the Quran says. That is what it is. Peace be with you.